Did you know that the USA, with a GDP of over $21 trillion, is the world's largest economy, but China, with a GDP of $15.4 trillion, is catching up fast? Both these nations hold immense economic power, their GDPs collectively accounting for roughly 40% of the global GDP. The USA has been the world's economic powerhouse for decades, leading in sectors such as technology, finance, and entertainment. But the winds are shifting. China's rapid economic growth, spurred by its massive population and industrial prowess, is challenging this position. Its GDP has been growing at an astonishing pace, and if the trend continues, it might just overtake the USA in the near future. This economic rivalry is reshaping the global landscape, influencing politics, trade, and technology worldwide. As we dive into the economic history of these two superpowers, remember, this is Global Economic Insights, and I am Matt. To understand the current economic landscape, let's travel back in time to the USA's economic beginnings. Our journey commences in the late 18th century. The USA was primarily an agrarian society, with small-scale farms scattered across the landscape. But the Industrial Revolution, which kicked off in the early 19th century, dramatically transformed the nation's economic fabric. Factories sprang up, cities burgeoned, and the USA began its transition into an industrial powerhouse. Then, the 1920s brought about a period of unprecedented prosperity, known as the Roaring Twenties. However, this era of affluence ended abruptly with the onset of the Great Depression in 1929, the most severe and prolonged economic downturn in the history of the Western industrialized world. This period of economic hardship catalyzed significant changes in the USA's economic policies, leading to the creation of a series of federal programs and reforms, collectively known as the New Deal. Following World War II, the USA experienced an economic boom with rapid expansion in areas like housing, consumer goods, and automobiles. The nation's gross national product grew at an annual rate of about 3.5% throughout the 1950s, and by 2.5% in the 1960s. This period of sustained economic growth cemented the USA's position as a global economic leader. Fast forward to 2008, and the USA faced another economic crisis. The collapse of Lehman Brothers triggered a global financial crisis and led to the Great Recession. The fallout from this crisis resulted in a re-evaluation of financial regulations and led to the implementation of the Dodd-Frank Wall Street Reform and Consumer Protection Act. From these key events, we can see how the USA's economic history is marked by periods of growth and challenge, innovation and adaptation. Each event played a critical role in shaping the nation's economic policies, guiding its response to crises, and determining its place in the global economic order. From an agriculture-based economy to a global economic powerhouse, the USA's journey has been nothing short of remarkable. Now, let's shift our focus to the east and explore the economic evolution of China. Our journey begins in the mid-20th century with the establishment of the People's Republic of China in 1949. Under the leadership of Mao Zedong, China adopted a centrally planned economy modeled after the Soviet Union. The government controlled all industry and commerce, and private ownership was essentially abolished. Fast forward to the late 50s, Mao launched the Great Leap Forward, an ambitious program aimed at rapidly transforming China from an agrarian economy to an industrialized one. However, this radical approach led to the most catastrophic famine in history, causing millions of deaths and marking a dark period in China's economic history. The turbulence continued into the 60s with the Cultural Revolution, a decade-long period of political and social chaos that severely disrupted the economy. The education system was paralyzed, industries were negatively affected, and the overall economic growth slowed down significantly. But the tide began to turn in the late 70s. Under the leadership of Deng Xiaoping, China embarked on a series of economic reforms known as the Open Door policy. The country gradually shifted from a centrally planned economy to a more market-oriented one. This included the creation of special economic zones, opening up to foreign investment and encouraging entrepreneurship. These reforms sparked an economic miracle. Over the next 4 decades, China experienced unprecedented economic growth, lifting over 700 million people out of poverty. the country transformed from a largely agrarian society to the world's largest industrial powerhouse. Today, China stands as the world's second largest economy, with its GDP reaching almost $15 trillion in 2023. The country is also the world's largest exporter, a testament to its industrial prowess and extensive global trade networks. China's economic transformation, from a closed economy to the world's largest exporter, is indeed a story of resilience and strategic planning. This journey, marked by both trials and triumphs, has shaped China's economic landscape and influenced its role on the global stage. Having understood their economic histories, it's now time to compare the USA and China in the present-day economic showdown. Let's kick off this comparison with a look at their gross domestic products. The USA, with its well-established and diversified economy, boasts a GDP that is one of the largest in the world. On the other hand, China, once primarily an agrarian society, has surged ahead with unprecedented speed to become the world's second largest economy. The difference in their GDPs, however, is not as wide as one might think, given the USA's head start. Next, let's consider their economic policies. The USA operates on a mixed economy, balancing free market capitalism with government intervention. This approach has fostered innovation, technological advancement, and a high standard of living. China, meanwhile, has a unique blend of socialist market economy that has allowed for rapid industrial growth and significant poverty reduction. But like everything else, these economies have their strengths and weaknesses. The USA's strengths lie in its technological innovation, higher education system, and strong institutions. However, it grapples with issues such as income inequality and national debt. China, on the other hand, has a massive population that provides a vast labor force and consumer market, yet it struggles with environmental degradation and a widening rural-urban divide. Now let's contemplate their impacts on the global economy. The USA remains a significant player in global trade, finance, and technological innovation. Its economic decisions reverberate around the globe. China, with its vast manufacturing prowess and increasing influence in global trade, cannot be ignored either. Its Belt and Road Initiative is reshaping global trade routes, and its ascendancy in technology sectors is noteworthy. In conclusion, both the USA and China have their own economic virtues and vices. Their economic policies, performances, and global impacts are as diverse as their cultures. They both play crucial roles in shaping the global economic landscape. As these two economic giants continue their tussle for global dominance, the world watches with bated breath. So, what have we learned from this economic showdown? We've journeyed through the economic histories of USA and China, witnessing their rise as global powerhouses. We've explored their current economic climates, each unique yet intertwined in the global fabric. The impact they have and continue to exert on the world's economy is undeniable. While the future is uncertain, one thing is clear: the economic trajectories of the USA and China will continue to shape the global economy for years to come. Until next time, this is Matt from Global Economic Insights, signing off.